What's up everybody, welcome back. So we're moving into some of our final battles in the Master League Premier Cup before it switches over to Great League. And in this video, I'm going to be showcasing Gengar along with Rhyperior in the Master League Premier Cup. Now, before we get into the video, I just want to quickly apologize for not posting as frequently over the past week. It's been a busy week and I haven't had too much time to do these Premier Cup Master League battles, but I'll definitely be posting a lot more frequently once Great League comes back, probably every single day, because I have a lot of interesting team comps, which I'm super excited to try out and showcase as well. So please stay tuned for that. And also, I really appreciate all the growing support. But anyways, getting back into today's video, I'm going to be trying out Gengar along with Rhyperior and Gyarados. Now, this is actually a team that's been working pretty well for me. I've been playing around with different team comps and not all of them necessarily works, but this one actually worked pretty well. And it definitely has its weaknesses. It's especially going to be weak against ground type leads like Garchomp and Swampert leads, in which case you're basically going to have to sacrifice your Rhyperior because you have only one counter in the form of Gyarados, especially against Swampert and Garchomp, but it can handle most of the meta, right? It can pretty much go up against almost everything else that you're going to see in the meta. Even Garchomp and Swampert, as long as it's in the back, it's not too much of an issue. So anyways, some interesting battles in here and let's just get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here. I'm going to be leading with Rhyperior, and also you'll notice that I'm running Smackdown on Rhyperior and not Mudslap. And that's because Smackdown helps in catching a lot of flyers on the lead, and that's because Togekiss, Gyarados and Dragonites are fairly common leads, as you can see here. So this is a very positive matchup because Smackdown is doing super effective damage because of the flying typing. And the fact that they're staying in tells me they have something else in the back which could be weak to Rhyperior. So I'm going to shield the Surf just in case it's an outrage. It's just Dragon Claw, which is absolutely fine. And I'm going to throw the Surf here because I know they're probably at another Dragon Claw. So Surf gets the shield, which is understandable. And this is just a Dragon Claw, of course, which I don't have to shield because we can definitely survive it. It's going to put us pretty low, but at this point I can just farm down with Smackdown and I have a Surf ready to go. And I'm just going to throw the Surf irrespective of what comes in, and it's a Rhyperior, which is great, right? Rhyperior is going to be double weak to water because of the rock and ground typing, and they actually let that go through, which is huge. And also it's a Mudslap Rhyperior, which is really good for Gyarados because we're double beg your pardon, it is a Smackdown Rhyperior. So I was hoping that I could commit to the complete farm down before they can get to a charge move, but I'm going to have to shield this up because Rock Wrecker obviously would one-shot. And they have a Snorlax in the back. So this is a very tricky situation because we have a Gengar in the back which has double ghost moves, which is going to get completely walled by Snorlax. So I'm going to have to rely on my Gyarados to pretty much take out the majority of this Snorlax's health. So I'm going to switch into Gengar, try and catch a Body Slam. Unfortunately, we don't catch it. But this was too soon to be an Earthquake, so I'm expecting this to just be a Body Slam. It is, which is great. And I'm surprised they actually decided to throw. And at this point, I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball here. I'm really hoping this gets their final shield. Hopefully, they think it's a Sludge Bomb or a Focus Blast. And they shield that up, which is huge. So this is really good. And they also decide to throw their energy, which is even better. So Charge Move coming through. It is just a Body Slam. And yeah, this is where they actually make a bit of a mistake, I think, because they threw another Charge Move. They probably could have completely farmed us down, which could have made a difference because now it's given me a window of opportunity to win, right? I can come in with Gyarados and then farm up to 2 Aqua Tails and then go back to back here. Now Aqua Tail is definitely not going to finish off Snorlax. It's going to put it pretty low, but we have another one ready to go and this should definitely take out the Snorlax. So I think if they had completely farmed my Gengar down and had a Body Slam ready to go, they probably could have had that, but they probably thought we were running Sludge Bomb or something, but it's all good. I guess I kind of got lucky there because Snorlax in the back can be very difficult for this team to deal with. You'd rather see it on the lead because Rhyperior has a pretty positive matchup against it. But obviously, you don't want to see it, especially in the back when you're running Gengar, right? Anyways, moving into the second battle, we have Rhyperior into Magnezone. So this is actually a pretty good matchup even with Smackdown, right? Obviously, having Mudslap would make it overwhelmingly favorable for Rhyperior. But the fact is that Rhyperior can still beat Magnezone while running Smackdown, right? Because Spark is double resisted and they actually shield that up because they thought it was a superpower, which is really good. And because Mirror Shot is such a terrible move in terms of damage, it's going to take more than 3 Mirror Shots, right? Even though it's super effective, it's going to take more than 3 of those to get rid of Rhyperior. We get the attack debuff, which is unfortunate. Another Mirror Shot coming through, it's absolutely fine. They're going to need another 2 Mirror Shots to get rid of Rhyperior. So I'm going to go for the Surf here. They're probably going to let this go through because at this point they know that we don't have superpower, which is okay. And It's going to be a mirror shot and it's not going to take us out, right? That's the key. So we're still going to survive with a decent amount of health. And like I mentioned, Spark is doing very minimal damage that they're going to have to throw their charge move if they want to maintain switch advantage, which is really going to... I'm going to let this go through because now, even though we've lost switch advantage, we are up a shield, which is crucial. And I'm going to come in with Gyarados and Dragon Breath down. And let's see what they have in the back. They have a Togekiss in the back. So this is not good. I'm going to switch into Gengar here. And they make a switch into their Machamp. So this is again a very favorable matchup because we're triple resisting the fighting moves because of the Ghost and Poison typing. And yeah, I'm just going to go for the Shadow Punch Shield Bait. They don't give up the shield, which is absolutely fine. And Charge Move coming through. And I'm obviously going to shield this up because Rock Slide would hurt quite a bit. But they bait with Cross Chop, which is very nice play. And at this point, I'm just going to go straight for the next Shadow Punch here. This should pretty much come close to taking out the Machamp. It actually gets the shield, which is even better, right? Because now I can completely farm this thing down. I'm going to have to shield once, obviously, because I have to respect the damage from the Rock Slide. And they actually bait again with Cross Chop, which is, again, really nice play. But it doesn't really matter because they can't get to another charge move anyways. And we have a Shadow Ball ready to go. So I'm immediately going to throw the Shadow Ball onto the Togekiss here. This is going to do some heavy neutral damage and do over 60% of this Togekiss's health. And now I can just switch into Gyarados and then go straight for the Aqua Tail here. Right now, this is going to come close to taking out this Togekiss. And at this point, we can just Dragon Breath farm this thing down. So as you can see, Gengar with loaded energy can be extremely destructive. And especially against Pokemon like Togekiss and Machamp and Metagross in the back, Gengar works really well, right? Because it has pretty positive matchups against all of these. Not so much against Togekiss because even though those charms are resisted, it still does quite a bit of damage. But Machamp is obviously something that you definitely want to run into in the back. So anyways, we have Rhyperior into Magnezone. Again, they actually make a switch immediately into Dragonite, which is really surprising because I don't know if they misclicked that switch. But anyways, this is again a very favorable matchup. I'm going to let this one go through. It's just a Dragon Claw and... yeah, I'm just going to go for the Surf here. Now, the reason I go for the Surf is because this chip damage from the Surf will allow me to farm this Dragonite down before they can get to a charge move, right? So as you can see, I'm able to farm it down before they can get to another Dragon Claw. And if I hadn't thrown that Surf, they would have been barely able to get to that Dragon Claw, which I might have had to shield. So that's not great. So they actually come back in with Magnezone, which really tells me they have something in the back, which is also weak to Rhyperior. And okay, so they let the Surf go through, which is absolutely fine. And they're going to have to throw a charge move, right? So this is going to be a mirror shot, which is definitely going to finish off Rhyperior here. And I can come in with Gengar and then go straight for the Shadow Punch now. From this range, Shadow Punch should definitely finish off the Magnezone because Magnezone is fairly glassy. Let's see if they shield this up. They do shield that up, which is fine. And this is a tell that they're going for Wild Charge. There's no reason for them to bait at this point. And they go straight for the Wild Charge, which is understandable. And they have a Machamp in the back, which is really good again. So Machamps in the back is definitely something that you want to see, especially when you're running Gengar. And I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Punch here, really trying to get their shield. They don't give up the shield, which is absolutely fine. And yeah, I'm just going to shield this up, right? Because this could be a Rock Slide, but they bait with Cross Chop. Most Machamps tend to bait with Cross Chop, but it's too much of a risk to let the Rock Slide go through because Rock Slide does so much damage, right? So I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Punch and then switch into my Gyarados and farm this thing down, which isn't the smartest play in hindsight because they can farm up to 2 Wild Charges here, which is not good news. But they have very minimal health, right? They're going to basically have to throw a Charge Move here because they're getting extremely low. And Charge Move coming through. This has to be a Wild Charge, which is going to one-shot the Gyarados here. And I don't think they have enough energy for another Wild Charge. And because they're debuffed, we can Shadow Claw it down. So that was very close there. I think I slightly misplayed that. I probably should have just stayed in with Magnezone and then stayed in with Gengar and farmed the Machamp down. But if they had built up to 2 Wild Charges, then we might have been in trouble. But anyways, we are 3-0, I believe, in the set right now. Let's move into the 4th battle here. We have Rhyperior into a Hippowdon. So this is not a good matchup again because I'm actually forced to stay in, but I think I decided to switch into my Gyarados to see what happens. This is not a good idea because Gyarados is basically my only counter to Hippowdon in this team. But they actually make a switch into their own Gyarados, and this is good, right? Because now we have the energy advantage. This is really good. But actually winning switch advantage isn't that necessary in this situation because, like I said, both Rhyperior and Gengar don't have great matchups against Hippowdon. But yeah, I'm not even trying to win switch advantage at this point. I'm just going to try and maintain shield advantage to hopefully land a Surf on the Hippowdon. So going to go for the Crunch here. Doesn't get the shield, which is fine. I probably shouldn't have thrown that because I needed to farm for a lot more energy with Rhyperior. So I'm going to come in with Rhyperior and try and smack down, farm this Gyarados down. but they're able to get to a charge. But I'm going to let this go through. It's fine. And it's only a crunch, which is really crucial, right? Because if it was Aqua Tail, that would have done a lot of damage. And they come in with their Metagross. I'm immediately going to switch into my Gengar here. So Gengar and switch, I tried to throw the Shadow Punch, there, but they make a really nice switch on the Shadow Punch to their Hippowdon. But they actually shield that up, which is really crucial, right? Because at this point, I can just go straight for the Shadow Ball here. Those Ice Fangs are really adding up, but yeah, obviously going to shield this up. This is probably going to be Earth Power, but it's just a Body Slam bait, which is also fine because I don't think they can get to another charge move because this Shadow Ball is definitely going to KO, right? It's going to do some heavy neutral damage and finish off the Hippowdon from this range. And at this point, I just have to get to the Shadow Punch is going to put this Metagross extremely low here. And also, we still have a shield, so I think we've got this game. And yeah, at this point, it's a double KO, but it's absolutely fine, right? Because we still have a shield, and also we have Rhyperior in the back, and we take the win there. So that was extremely close. Like I said, ground type leads can be pretty tricky, but it's not as difficult as Garchomp and Swampert because Hippowdon is not running a ground type fast move, so Gengar is not taking super effective damage from the Ice Fangs, which is pretty good. But anyways, moving into the final battle, we have met with another positive lead, right? So this is a very positive matchup for Rhyperior. I do have to watch out for Superpower though. They make a switch into their Metagross, we go immediately into Gengar again. So many people like to safe switch into their Metagross, and exactly why Gengar is super handy in these situations. And Gengar basically beats Metagross in all even shielding scenarios. So this is again a very positive matchup, obviously. Definitely going to have to shield because Meteor Mash is going to one-shot. But yeah, I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Punch here. Let's see if this gets the shield from the Metagross. It should put it pretty low if it goes unshielded. And at this point, I can just completely farm this thing down, right? So this is really good because now I can just go straight for the Shadow Punch here. I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's Snorlax. I'm hoping they shield this thinking it's a Sludge Bomb or a Focus Blast, but they let that go through, which is understandable because we have switch advantage and that's all that counts here. I'm just going to come in with Rhyperior and try and go for this Rock Wrecker. But they're able to get to a charge move. Now this could be a superpower, it could even be Earthquake, but I'm going to risk it and let it go through. It's just a Skull Bash, which is really good, right? Because that's resisted because of the rock typing. And I can go straight for the Rock Wrecker here. They're probably not going to shield this because their defense has been boosted. They let that go through, still does a lot of damage. And I'm just going to completely farm this thing down. So another charge move coming through. This is just a Body Slam, which is again resisted. They survive that. They make a switch into their Gyarados. I immediately go for the Surf. This is where I probably made a mistake. I should have gone for the Rock Wrecker. I just panicked and went straight for the Surf here. But it's fine. They don't shield that, which is also, I was hoping they would shield that, but it's okay. It's all good. At this point, I'm just going to shield the Surf because Crunch would do quite a bit of damage. And I'm just going to build up to 2 Aqua Tails here and then go back to back. That's my plan. So I'm just going to build up, I'm going to build up to 2 Aqua Tails here. This is definitely going to get the shield from the Gyarados. And gets the shield there, which is absolutely fine because we have another one ready to go. And also, I think our Gyarados has better IVs than theirs. So we win CMP there. So yeah, Aqua Tail is going to finish it off. And Snorlax is going to go down to Dragon Breath there. So as you can see, that was again a pretty close matchup. Actually, a little closer than I would have imagined it would be. But 5-0 set, as you can see, it's a really solid team for the most part. Luckily, we didn't run into Swampert and Garchomp leads. I did run into one of those in another set of battles that I did. And yeah, but it's definitely not impossible to overcome that, but that can be pretty difficult. But overall, it's actually a pretty decent team comp, right? But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.